sounded amazing getting it to that. Oh. The way it just holds on to the road, the grip is really something. Welcome to Invictus Motors. We've got this Porsche Boxster. This is the 981. They were first launched in 1997 under the Porsche Boxster 986. And then the 987 generation, which was launched in 2004, I would say was fairly similar to the 986. Yes, some subtle changes, but ultimately very much of, you can almost say same, but different. Now we've got this Porsche Boxster 981 launched in 2011 at the Frankfurt Motor Show. These, in my opinion, where Porsche took a big, massive step forward in terms of design, in the gearbox, the way it handles, the engine, ironing out all the reliability issues that the Porsche 986 came with, the sort of IMS, the bore scoring issues, and some of the other things that actually put off people that read too much of what's put out there online. And the way you've got to put it out there is there's going to be a downside to anything you buy. But with this sort of a model that Porsche launched in 2011, this is both with the 991.1s and the 981 Boxsters and the 981 Caymans. I think they really, when it comes to the topic of reliability and build quality, they kind of smashed it out of the park. So let's get behind the wheel and take it up for a proper drive. Now behind the wheel, let's start it up. This has the 3.4 litre engine. As a matter of fact, it's the 2.7 litre engine, which I think, in my opinion, probably is better than the 3.4, because I think the 3.4 you just end up hitting, not necessarily just the top speed, but any sort of real life speed on the road a lot quicker. You're to 30 miles per hour that bit quicker, or you're doing 60 or 70 miles per hour a lot more quicker. Not to say that the 2.7 litre doesn't actually have the torque of the BHP, it does. This produces 261 BHP, 280 Newton meters of torque. The top speed is 164 miles per hour, and the 0 to 62 miles per hour is possible in 5.8 seconds. So what more could one want out of even the base Porsche Boxster 981? I think it's got the performance figures one would want anyway. The transmission is out of this world on the 981 in comparison to the 987.2 or the 987.1 or the 986. It's just a much more better, resilient engined transmission in relation to those other generation or the previous generation boxes that I just referred to. And I think this is probably a better manual transmission, in my opinion, than even the later generation Porsche Boxsters, the 718, because I just think it's just got that perfect sweet spot between analog and between modern. Let's press the sports button. The tone of the exhaust changes completely. Beautiful, beautiful sound to this immediately. I just love the fact how smooth it is to actually change gears and just progressively take this through its paces. It's a lot of fun, even though I'm just driving around the village and just shifting up or shifting down a gear. Just an absolute of a pleasure to actually just take it through its paces and really enjoy it for what it is. And hopefully now go for a bit of an extended test drive to really put it through its paces now. sublime handling around these bends. If you could be here with me, listening to the way this engine sounds, you would be speechless. Good responsive brakes as well. But if this is something you're actually interested in buying from us, please carry on watching the video, because I will now talk about the rest of the car. Well, spec-wise, this is finished in jet black metallic. It's got obviously the daytime running LED lights, and it's got a really aggressive front end, as well as the rest of the car speaks for itself with the 20-inch Sport Techno wheels. Additionally, you find these side vents to the side, which brings in enough air to cool down the engine, and the back end looks the business, where you've got the LED daytime running lights. And just to show you why I think the Boxster personally is a great car to have, because I'll explain. You've got a boot at the back, so you can get, I guess, one medium suitcase with some luggage space to the side. I'd say practical enough. And then here, this is, in my opinion, the best sort of sports or a GT car one could have for the summer. And you're not getting a lot of draft like you would in a convertible 911, where the fact that you've got those two additional seats at the back means that you get a lot of wind and a lot of draft coming in. This has got the perfect spec with leather and Alcantara, and then you've got the Porsche crest there finished on that handrest with a sport steering wheel, sports button, and obviously, as you heard it, once those valves open up, it rolls like you would expect from a sports car. And you've got the 6-speed manual transmission, the best combination anyone could want with a modern Porsche. And then you've got the heated seats, both the passenger and the driver side. And if we actually go to the front now, you get a little bit more luggage space at the front than you do at the back. So 2 medium side suitcases can easily be fit in here. It's very similar to what you would put in, in terms of like hand luggage that you can take onto an airplane, and you still have a bit of space all around it for shoes and other sort of bags and stuff that you want to put in there. Ultimately, if you want something that you can daily around, take to work, have some nice road trips and enjoy for the summer, I don't think one could potentially own a better car than a Porsche Boxster with a manual 6-speed transmission. Personally, for me, this ticks all the right boxes. So if you've got any further questions, don't hesitate to contact us. And in this really last section of the video, I'll be showing the paperwork. It's been serviced every 2 years or 20,000 miles, like you would expect out of these Porsches. They do need to be maintained, they do need to be serviced, and Porsche's servicing schedule is fantastic. 2 years or 20,000 miles. So just to kind of illustrate, the car was first registered in December 2013. So the first service was done in December 2015. And then subsequent to that, the next service was done in December 2017. And the third service, as it wasn't actually driven much in the winter, was done a couple of months later, rather than it being done in December. It was actually done 3 months later, in March 2020, and the last service was done on the 18th of January 2022. And then this is the invoice for that service, which is basically covering in quite a couple of major items. It's got the 6 years or 60,000 mile of service. They've used the Shell Haldex oils. It's got the oil filters, the cabin filter, the pre-cabin filter, the pollen filter, and ultimately the whole bill comes in at about £1,630. And the previous owner is a lady owner, Miss Anita. She has had this vehicle since 2021, so she's had it roughly for about 3 years now. And prior to her, this has 4 former keepers. Hopefully this is everything on the paperwork, on the car, on the way it drives. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and hopefully see you next time. I forgot to mention that we do earn out of YouTube. Roughly, the monetization or the money that YouTube gives us every month is between 400 to 500 pounds. It fluctuates. That money is donated to a UK registered charity, which is Noble Connection. That funds is used to dig up wells in Afghanistan, currently in a process of building a school in Afghanistan. So we do appreciate you guys watching these videos, and it's actually a bit of a passion of ours, creating the content and hopefully giving you people out there in the online world a bit of an idea on what these cars are like, what they sound like, how they drive, and how they compare in terms of a scale with a human standing next to it and describing it. So if you are interested in this and you'd like to buy it, call us. If you just want simply a bit of advice on something you're buying elsewhere, don't hesitate to drop us a message or give us a call, and most likely it might be myself that might pick up. So thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye bye.